Chuck, quick. Favorite 90s TGI Friday show? What was yours? Come on, hurry.
Full House. I don't know.
Full House? Boy Meets World, because everybody loved Topanga. Like, if you didn't have a crush on Topanga, you didn't have a TV.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Bourbon Market. As always, I'm Doug Romer, and here with my good friend
Chuck McGowan.
So, Chuck, when you walk into a liquor store, like, there are so many bottles in the bourbon section. Like, it's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And so you've got to stand out. And this bottle right here definitely stands out.
Okay. It definitely does, from top to bottom.
Absolutely. So, you know, the presentation is incredible. Today we're looking at Baker 7. And so, I mean, like, even the, it's upside down. So, you know, I mean, like you said, top to bottom, they've done it right.
Yeah.
And so Baker 7 is a Jim Beam product. It's one of their 4. They have a small batch collection. And now, you know, this one right here, and then they have Basil Hayden's. You know what we think. You know what we think of the brown water.
That's exactly what it is.
You know, but and I honestly can say, like, even the tenure stuff is not good to me. But so I'm not going to judge them by that, because the other two, Knob Creek, which you and I love, and then, you know, we've kind of talked back and forth and about Booker's.
Yeah.
And then Baker's. And so, you know, this is, and the really cool thing about Baker's is it's Baker's 7. It's says that it's, you know, it's kind of built as go ahead.
But it's single barrel minimum of 7 years. I mean, that's a bare minimum.
Yeah.
And from most things I've read, that says closer to 9. I mean, it can be, yeah.
That's the thing is, so, you know, like, you see the 7, and then inside it says minimum 7 years. But up here on the neck, you know, mine was, let's see, date barreled 2014. So this bottle is 8 years, 1 month old. Mm-hmm. And so it's at 107 proof. Just going by presentation alone, you know, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that just makes you intrigued, just with the way they've done that, because Jim Beam's established anyway. So you just want to, you know, considering they have other products that I would drink and I have drank and I own plenty of, then this was a no-brainer. The first time I ever bought a bottle and I had never tried it before, I was like, well, I'll gamble on that. They've earned that, you know?
Yeah.
So, especially at the price point.
Yeah. And so it's a $60 bottle is what you're going to find it at most places. And so that 107 proof is, you know, so you're not because Baker's is going to hit you higher than that.
Yeah.
It's also going to hit your bank account higher than what this is. You know, you're looking at $60 here, where you're looking at $100 for your for your Booker's. And, you know, the Booker's going to be a little higher proof, but like I said, it's at that price point, definitely willing to take a chance on it. You want to go ahead and crack it open and we'll.
Yeah. I guess I'm ahead of you. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go.
Smells good.
So it smells like a Beam product.
Yeah.
You know, it
Maybe a vanilla.
So it's really nutty.
Yeah, it's got a lot of nutty, like nutty
Yeah, it's got a lot
spices,
of a lot of really nutty.
and a little bit of oak. You can do a little bit of oak in there. Throw a little bit of oak in there, but
Yeah, you've got like your baking spices,
yeah,
but you're also getting some vanilla, maybe a
but it's not.
little caramel,
Yeah, maybe a little,
not
but
not a whole lot, maybe just a, but it's overly nutty.
yeah,
So you ready to try it?
yeah. Let's try.
Cheers.
Cheers. And I'm sorry, but that's just good all the way around. It
That's really good.
for 107 proof, you'd never. It's just like the perfect amount of heat on the end of it. It's awesome.
It is.
And
It's like the heat. So you get it's nutty right on the but then man, the palate is like full.
yeah,
It's you get again, you get the vanilla. It's a little more vanilla, a little more caramel than what was on the
mm,
nose, and then but you don't think you're going to get the heat,
yeah. It lingers
and
at
then
the end.
yeah, and then like 3/4 of the way through that, you get the heat, and it lingers, and then it finishes. Now you get that nutty finish,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of bring, but that is good.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Um, let's go back and
I mean, it's just that's the thing. Like, even this is the first pour off of both of our bottles, and
yeah,
most of the time, I mean, a first pour it can be
it
kind of
can be
rough on your
iffy.
nose.
Yeah,
You got to let
yeah,
it breathe a minute. But this is not. I just poured this before we started talking, and it hadn't. It's not. I mean, as soon as I opened up the bottle, I usually smell a little bit, and it wasn't even bad at that point. Like it's very very smooth. I mean, to the nose, to your palate, everything. To be 107 proof, that's impressive because it's up
that
because even Knob Creek to a certain extent has a little more fire on it than that. You know.
yeah. Like I said, that's a very smooth. So I don't, and it's not a beginner's bourbon, but it's not. You don't have to have a whole lot under your belt to appreciate this. I don't think.
No.
You know, so Baker, let's see, it's named after Jim Beam's grandnephew. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you want a little bit of and so the thing with this is it used to be a small batch bourbon. It used to be like 200 barrels is what it was limited to. Um, and in 2019, they went to single barrel. And the other thing is, and one that I've never had, they also have a 13-year.
Oh wow, I haven't had that either.
Yeah. Yeah. So they went in 2019, they went to a single barrel and they changed it to the single barrel Baker 7, and then they've got a 13. Now, I haven't had the 13, but from what I've read, the 13 is closer to the age statement. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
with this, you're going to get like an 8 to 9 year bourbon. I've never seen one of these that wasn't at least an 8-year bourbon.
Yeah, and mine's just a
But
few months. Like mine's the barrel date on mine is 11/20/13, so it's just a couple months older. That's
yeah,
all right around that same time period. That's really good. I mean,
it is like, I mean, so $60. That's better than most 60. That's a good bourbon at $60.
I'll put it this way: there's another single barrel that's supposed to go for $60, but sells for more than $60. And I'd put this in front of it any day of the week. It starts with a B, ends with an S.
And has lantern in between.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. That's what, and the thing is, this any day, I would drink this absolutely any day, and over that. And the other thing is so Blanton's you're never going to find at $60.
No, it's rare.
It's extremely rare to find it at $60, but people still go chasing those bottles. This, to me, is a better bourbon than what that is, and you can walk into just about any liquor store and find this at retail.
Yeah. And it's
This
just
could
and it
be. Go ahead.
it's just it's literally a hidden gem because in my opinion, I think there's a lot of people now who might have tried it, but not as many as there should have been, which is not really a bad thing. It means I can usually find it if I want to. But it's not getting the fanfare that it needs because it's good. It's really, really good for the price point.
It is, and hidden gem is the way to. That's so. I was getting ready to say that this is a steal. It's one that a lot of people, because like I said, you can go in anywhere and find it on the shelf. Um, and this is a bourbon that you definitely need to pick up. I mean, it is very good.
It's very good. I mean,
So
I can't say enough about the flavor of it, and that's of course it helps that it's above 100 proof because that just makes it pop
yeah,
as far as the flavor palette goes. But it's a very very good consistency. Now the last time I tried this was well over 2 years ago, and it was it's the same. I had the same reaction to it then because that was the first time I had tried it and bought a bottle. And I actually shared it with 3 or 4 of my neighbors, and they had never heard of it before. And they were going the next day and buying their own. So it does make an impression, you know.
like it's staying on my. I mean, like this one ain't gonna. It's staying on my shelf.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, absolutely. It's got like a place up there. I'll put it, and always have one. I mean, it's like I said, an incredible bourbon. I mean, $60. Unfortunately, now $60 a lot of times doesn't get you much.
yeah,
But like with this on the shelf, you're getting a ton of bang for your buck at the $60 range.
yeah.
So
And
now
there's a lot of. Go ahead.
here's one thing, and it comes from the same guys, but we've got to throw it out there.
Is it the Knob Creek single barrel?
Single barrel 9-year, 120 proof Knob Creek.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Same family. Okay. This one is like our kind of heat.
Yep.
This one is probably like this one is a little more. This one's a little more. I'm not going to say hard to drink, but this one brings it a little more than this. But you can pick this up at the same price.
Yeah.
So, sometimes a little cheap, like sometimes you can get this in the $50-$55 range.
Yeah.
So now I'm not saying this is bad, but which one, because we both drank both of them. Like we both had them.
I mean, if I'm going to pick one of the two, you know which way I'm going to go on this, and it's going to be the one you just right off the shelf.
Right,
but
there.
That's because we like all that. We like the extra heat. Because if you had to do a full comparison off, or just if you just wanted to compare the heat piece of it, and do it in a metaphor of antique cars. An old Cadillac is what is Baker's because it's going to give you a nice even ride the whole way through. Yeah. Knob Creek single barrel, on the other hand, is that same Cadillac followed by a truck pull.
There you go.
because as far as the heat goes,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So
so
it's yeah. And but here's the thing is I had to bring it out because they're very similar bourbons.
hmm
The flavor profile of them, like that Knob Creek single barrel is going to, like you said, it's bringing a ton more heat.
yeah,
It's not as smooth of, I don't know. It's going to get the heat to you a little earlier.
yeah. I mean, it's still smooth. It's just you got to be. I mean, we've talked about this many times. You have to be in that stage of your I guess trying new things and trying bourbon and working your way around and expanding your palate to appreciate what it brings because it brings a lot. Um,
Yeah, it does. And but
mhm.
here's so just like I said, ignoring that, I just had to bring it out because, like I said, same price range. Very similar bourbon. Um, as far as flavor goes, but it's going to bring a lot more heat. So if you're looking for that heat, then buy the Knob Creek single barrel. It's 120 proof. But if you're
Mhm.
looking for an incredible bourbon, easy to drink, heat on the end, just the right time, like it's absolutely a perfect palate. Nose is a little too nut. Like the nut in the nose overpowers it. I think a little bit.
Yeah,
It kind of takes over everything.
yeah,
Initially, once you've had it and you come back and smell it, you get all those other flavors. Like it's very vanilla right now. I can get that, but I think this bourbon right here. I think we're both going to say, go get it, put it on your shelf.
hmm
Get it on your shelf now. Um, so now let's just say, so we obviously both agree with that. $60 MSRP, too
yeah.
high, too low.
It's actually a great price for what you get.
I think it's
It's
absolutely perfect.
I mean, if you had as far as like comparing everything else in that category or at that price point with what you get especially considering it's 107 proof, and it's that smooth. Um, I would put it if you had it for a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a full 10 on the price point.
Yeah,
If you want to go, you can't be perfect. That kind of person, I give it okay. It's a 9, but
yeah,
it's right there as high as you can get because it's a lot of bang. Like I said, it's a lot of bang for your buck. You get a lot out of it with every single sip. You get a lot out of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like it doesn't, like every sip that you take is a good sip. It's not like one of those, because there are a lot of bourbons that I've had that you pour a glass and by the end of it you're just trying to finish it.
Mhm.
It's good, but then it's just like, but this is a really good bourbon, and I'm with you on that price point. $60, I think, is a good price point. I think it's right where it should be. I mean, I would love to see it at the $40 price point, but I'm not even going to say it. Like, I'm not saying it should be there. I'm just saying that's what I'd love to pay.
Yeah.
If I walked in, I'm buying as many bottles as they have at
Yeah.
$40. So, um, but there you have it. I mean, great bourbon, $60 price point. If you're new to bourbon, don't buy this one right now. Okay,
hmm
you're not gonna appreciate it. Um, but it's something that every seasoned bourbon drinker should have in their cabinet. Would you
I
agree?
I would agree. Now I will have to say this: if you've even if you've just started drinking bourbon, let's say you're of legal age, but in your early 20s, and all you have dabbled into from the Jim Beam Corporation is their 4-year Jim Beam bottle, and you try this, it's going to be like going from going from just the bottom to the top in an elevator in a 110-story building. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Because there is no comparison.
No, none at all.
Um,
It's like none whatsoever.
yeah.
But here's the thing: is like if you're in that situation, you need to get a bottle of this and learn to appreciate stuff like this because it's incredible.
Yes, very much so. And there's stuff that costs $20 to $40 more at MSRP that I would not put is not as good as that.
Absolutely.
There are certain bottles that they think a lot of that just aren't going to be
that this blows out of the water.
Yes, well, our friends down in Texas that would go unmentioned.
Yeah, should the Garrison brothers go unmentioned though?
I don't know.
We'll not pick on them today. So that's us not picking on you, Garrison brothers. Well, there you have it. Baker 7. If you don't have it, go get it. Put it in your collection. Put it in there. Enjoy it. Incredible bourbon. Chuck and I both agree on it. Grab it. You can just thank us later. So I'm Doug Romer.
I'm Chuck McGowan.
And we appreciate you tuning into the Bourbon Market.
See you next time.